Canto 4, Part 1 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We had completed till verse 52 yesterday, and in that I'll give a small recap of what happened. Dhruva Maharaj has come back to his kingdom, and everybody is very joyous. He has attained his objective of meeting Narayana. So he meets Narayana and he comes back, and when he does that, he has gained Narayana's well wishes, and he has got this one particular planet for himself, which is called the pole star, and he has become more knowledgeable. But at the end of it, he was still thinking in terms of that I should not have asked for petty human desires. The desire was that I want to sit on my father's lap. I don't want anybody to shake me from there. And I want equal status as my brother and my mother and everybody, that is even the stepmother, they have to acknowledge him, including the king, Uttanpada. This is a petty philosophy, but what do you expect from a 5-year-old? And he was able to achieve it in 6 months' time. So he has come back. Everybody is welcoming him. The kingdom is very happy. They are all praising the mother for giving a good advice to her son, that you should go and pray to Narayana so that you can get a place in the universe which nobody can shake you from, which he was able to achieve. So they all give praises to the mother. So basically we are at this particular point where the mother is getting praised by the entire crowd around. So now let us say what happens after that. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Part 1. This is Chapter 9. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. This is verse 53 onwards. The sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, when everyone was thus praising Dhruva Maharaj, the king was very happy. And he had Dhruva and his brother seated on the back of a she-elephant, and he returned to his capital where he was praised by all the classes of men. Next verse is, the whole city was decorated with columns of banana trees containing bunches of fruits and flowers. The betel nut trees with leaves and branches were seen here and there. There were also many gates set up which were structured to give the appearance of sharks. At each and every gate there was burning lamp and big water pots decorated with highly colored cloth, strings of pearls, flower garlands and hanging mango leaves. In the capital, this is verse 56, in the capital there were many places, city gates and surrounding walls which were already very, very beautiful. And on the occasion of all of them was decorated with golden ornaments. The domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. Now this is a description of the place where the king resides. It's a city by itself. Now, I think in every great story, there is a king and he is returning back to his place. This you can find even in Ayodhya, where Ramayana is concerned. You will find even when Arjuna and his brothers are returning back after the battle of Kurukshetra. It's a similar place. Everywhere. Even Sri Krishna's grandson, whom we are talking about over here, he also had a very beautiful city. If you recollect, he is listening to Sukhdev. That is, Parikshit is listening to Sukhdev, and a great sage is talking about it to Vidura. Now, Maitreya Muni is sitting on the banks of the river and giving this knowledge to Vidura. This whole story is in a compacted form for you to understand. So there is something that is transpiring, and we are getting a description of the city. If you see, all the cities are described in the similar manner. When Sri Ram was coming back to his city, also the same thing was being shown. Whether you take any scripture of any kind, I'm talking about our own religious scriptures or stories, they speak the same language. There is no differentiation. You will find that it is literally like, an AI model is writing literally all the stories. And you will wonder what exactly is this whole thing about. Why is it that everybody speaks about, okay, there were, palm trees and this trees and that trees and fruits and flowers were hanging and there were pearls. I mean, imagine this. Pearls, people don't even know how to, use a chariot, because way back in time, there were no forms of transport. How is this transport available? He is traveling on a she elephant. Remember this. He and his father and his brother are traveling on a she elephant to this place. The city is flooded with literally everything. It is rich. We need to understand the spiritual significance of all this. Did this actually occur? Or if it has not, why is it being said? If it has happened, then how come it is giving us some precise kind of answers? Well, let us look at it from a perspective. This is a perspective which we in the world of spiritual do not mix it up with the things that are told outside to the material worldly people. You are taking spiritual lessons from me, not material worldly lessons. I am not going to tell you that there is a Lanka which is made of gold. I can't tell you that. It's a physical destination. So physically everybody can describe whatever they feel like. Okay? But we don't go for physical description in a spiritual realm. Even the same is applicable in every other scripture. If you take what Jesus Christ was saying, he was talking in a very peculiar language. So there was a very, very deep meaning in it. Those who are shallow in their approach, they will take this as something which has really happened. Common sense will not dictate over there. No common sense dictates over there. Streets were paved with gold is written. I mean, which street is paved with gold today? And in the same story, you will find that there are robbers who are trying to rob the gold. I mean, use your common sense and think about it. If there is a street paved with gold, it has got diamonds and these encrusted things and God knows what all. And there are pearls hanging and all these kind of things on one side. And on the other side, there are robbers and there are murderers and there are people who are trying to become absolutely human by kicking somebody out of the kingdom and all that. The petty human beings are also there. So then why are they not robbing that gold which is lying on the streets? Or why are they not taking those, pearls that are hanging all over the town and running away with it? Common sense will dictate over here. So if you are following a story just because it is some idiotic story meant for children, when I say meant for children, it translates into for the ignorant people in the world, then you are going to take it at a literal and the face value. Then you will have streets paved with gold. Which street is paved with gold? Nowhere on earth, nowhere in this entire planetary system also. You can't have so many banana trees. How many of you know that the banana that we eat today what banana we are eating is an nth version of, genetically modified banana? Have you ever seen a banana which was sold about few 100 years ago? Nobody will eat it also. Are you getting the point or no? So that means there has been a contamination all over the place. How can a person eat that kind of a banana? Use your brain to understand. Then what exactly are we trying to say? Are we trying to talk about mythological stories? That is where spirituality comes into the picture. Spiritual people do not accept this. They don't take anything at face value. So in the world of spiritual, your job is to delve deeper into the subject. What is the meaning of those words? Who is this Dhruva? What is happening? Why is he coming on a she-elephant? Why are the streets like that? So, we will tackle this as we finish. Okay? All the quadrangles, lanes and streets in the city and the raised sitting places at the crossings were thoroughly cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood water. And auspicious grains such as rice and barley and flowers, fruits, and many other auspicious presentations were scattered all over the city. So here we have a quadrangle, the lanes, paved lanes, raised sitting platforms at every crossing. Today, if you go to some villages, you will find that there are bus stops at the corner, or rather taxi stands, bus stops. And if you are in USA, you will find that, okay, the train is hardly there, but there is definitely a form of, the transportation is there. But there are huge shopping malls, huge, with parking lots and all that stuff. It's a way of looking at it. Then look at these words. Thoroughly cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood water. Sandalwood water? You think sandalwood was available in plenty? Think on those lines. What is sandalwood and what is water? Water was not available anywhere. Let me assure you this. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his entire team went to this place near Yamuna Nadi, near the Yamuna river, which is currently called Vrindavan, that place was barren. There was no water anywhere. The river was running somewhere, no doubt about it. But the whole land over there was barren. In the last century, a great sage landed up over there, okay, in that bridge dham. And there was one well which was completely poisoned. So now I want you to think about all these terms. How does this work? Does your logic work over here? You will say we are talking spiritual, we are not talking logic. Sir, if you are talking stories, then even Harry Potter is a story. Okay? Everything is a story. Are we supposed to believe in Harry Potter? No, I don't think so. But this we have to believe. So then there must be definitely a spiritual significance to the words. These words are not just like that. So think on these lines. Auspicious grains like rice and barley. Today to find rice in the most perfect format is impossible. Simple example of basmati rice. Go to the market, there are 100 varieties of basmati rice. Which of them is pure? Which of them is the right basmati? Nobody knows. We accept things because we have never bothered to go deeper into any subject. We don't want to go into any subject. And he's talking of flowers and fruits and many other auspicious presentations were scattered all over the city. Thus, as Dhruva Maharaj passed on the road from every place in the neighborhood, as a gentle household ladies assembled to see him, and out of maternal affection they offered their blessings, showering him with white mustard seed, barley, curd, water, newly grown grass, fruits and flowers. In this way, Dhruva Maharaj, while hearing the pleasing songs sung by the ladies, entered the palace of his father. Beautiful words. So all the ladies, they came out to see him, Dhruva Maharaj, when he was coming on the elephant. And they offered him the maternal blessings. This is not even the second millennia. No. This is the first one, Krita Yuga, or what we call as a Sat Yuga. In Sat Yuga, we are talking of technological advances. Rice is so good. Okay. There are trees which are flowering and fruits are there. And then you have white mustard seed, barley, curd, water, grass, fruits, flowers, and people are singing songs, and there is music. Dhruva Maharaj thereafter lived in the father's palace, which had walls bedecked with highly valuable jewels. His affectionate father took particular care of him, and he dwelled in the house just as demigods live in the palaces in their higher planetary systems. Higher planetary systems. See, somewhere in a scripture, there are hints dropped. The hints are not so obvious. When they are not so obvious, we just take it at a value where we think, oh, planetary systems. That means in the first yuga, in the Satyuga, where Uttanpada and all these guys were there, okay, his father is also there, by the way. Uttanpada's father is also there. Because in the next chapter, he is going to give advice. The grandfather is going to give advice to the grandson. So that means his father is there and his grandfather is also there. So which yuga is it? Because if Manu is the first person on earth, first man on earth, then which yuga is it? You need to ask yourself this question. Human beings don't ever question anything. We just take it at a face value and we say, oh, like that. No. Spiritual knowledge means you got to have a question. And if this is spirituality, then what is spirituality? That is a story. Spirituality is different. I am not giving the answer just now. You know that, no? I'm just dragging you till the end of my video so that you know Eyeballs. This is a comedy. Okay. Don't bother your head about all these things. But think like this. If you really want spiritual answers, why are you listening to the stories which are making zero sense to you? Why are you not questioning it? From our childhood, we have never ever questioned anything. The way in which spirituality works is it is called spiritual quest. The guru is the one who provides the answer. The disciple is the one who may question the guru and try to find the answers. Whether it is, Yoga Vashishta, or whether it is Ashtavakra Gita, or it can be any, Upanishad. It can be any scripture for that matter. This scripture itself, think about this scripture. You know what this scripture is? Srimad Bhagavatam. What is Parikshit doing? Parikshit is questioning the Guru. And people are so blind in this world, they just go and accept whatever is being dished out in the world. They go watch movies, they watch serials, and they say, like this happened. Nobody questions it. Not a single person wants to even find out anything. And that is why it's called ignorance, blissful ignorance. But this I am not in here to teach you ignorance, I am here to teach you spiritual. So you please hold on. The palace of the king, the bedding in the palace was as white as the foam of milk and was very soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold, and the chairs, benches, and other sitting places and furnitures were made of gold. There was so much gold to go around. If there was so much gold to go around, why there were poor people? And if this king was such a great king, why were there poor people on the streets? Ask yourself this question. Think, the bedsteads were made of ivory. What is ivory? You think ivory is available in India? If you are caught with even this much of ivory, you can go to jail in India today. I don't know how many people know this. It's a restricted material, number one. So you may have an heirloom of ivory at home. Yeah, something at home. That is okay. But you cannot carry ivory. Then, embellishment of gold. And the chair, benches, and other sitting places and furniture was made of gold. I want you to think, if furniture is made of gold means what? So there is a very big catch in common sense over here. You need to use your common sense to understand. What does it mean to have chairs, benches, sitting places made and all other furnitures were made of gold? Are we talking about a place on earth or are we talking about a place in some fancy land somewhere? It's a dream world that are we talking about. If there is so much of gold on this planet earth, where is it? Every country is fighting for little gold. You know this? During the Iran war, four countries cornered a lot of gold. They literally went and bought out a lot of gold. Countries like France and all, their gold was stored in United States. They took the entire gold back. UK, they also took their entire gold back from Fort Knox or wherever the place that is they are kept. And most of it was sold in the market. Because these countries are becoming really poor. They are not rich nations at all. And who are the people who bought it? Funnily, The people who bought it are from a few countries. Number one is China. China has a lot of money, they bought that gold. Number two is India. And beyond this is number three, which is beyond your imagination also. Think like that. There is a country which was buying so much of gold. It's called Brazil. They have money to buy the gold which these countries are trying to sell it. You understand what I'm saying? A country which is going to the dogs will want to sell their gold. A country which is having a lot of surplus of money will want to buy that gold. So China bought it, India bought it. I hope you get the point. And Russia, they have a lot of money. This is how it works. So always understand what gold are we talking about. So question everything. If you are a common ignorant person, you will never question anything. Just imagine the bedding is made like that. It was white as foam of milk and very soft. White as foam and very soft. These people are not gods. Okay, these are common human beings. From Manu downwards, all his race, whether it is Uttanpada or Priyamvada, or for that matter, you will now see he is going to get married in the future. They are all common people of common heritage. So the bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold. The chairs, the benches and sitting places in that whole place was made of gold. The palace of the king was surrounded by walls made of marble, with many engravings made of valuable jewels like sapphires, which depict beautiful women with shining jewels lamps in their hands. I mean, I want you to use your that 25 paisa brain that you have, or cent 25-cent brain. Sapphires, sapphire is available just like that on the streets. You don't need to mine it. You don't need to purify it. You don't need to cut it. You need cutting machines, no? If you go and buy one diamond, one very small diamond also, that tiny dot that you get, or even if you buy pearl in the market, do you think pearl culture and the pearl industry is there? You know how deep that industry is? Mining gold, is it so easy? Purification of gold, is it so easy? And that too, all this is done in the first yuga. Then why is it today we are not having that technology? So I should also be having sapphires stuck up on the walls everywhere, isn't it? Gold and diamond and sapphires and this and that. People like Elon Musk and all must be sitting on a bedstead which is made of solid gold. I mean, think like that. He is one of the richest guys in the world. There are billionaires and then there are trillionaires. And this billionaire and trillionaire can afford gold, isn't it? But do you really think that is how they live? Even the kings from the past, 200, 300, 400 years ago or 500 years ago, you think Shivaji Maharaj had gold? Huh? Today the Arabs are so rich people. 500 years ago, 600 years ago, they had gold or what? So gold mining, diamonds, all this is very rare. And we are talking about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Technology of refining, mining, gold, this, that, all this has come now. So then that has to have some meaning. What is the meaning? Ask yourself this question. Have you ever questioned it? Have you ever asked any guru? Now, you have some guru. But there are people in this world who have no gurus. And they go to gurus to learn yoga and meditation and practices. That guru is of no use. Because when you are reading these kind of stories where it is written there is gold paved on this, and then the bedsteads are made of this, and there were diamonds stuck over here, and this was happening and that was happening. Imagine, it is written over here. The palace of the king was surrounded by walls made of marble. Marble from where? Italy. Why haven't we asked these questions? Because we are not interested in spirituality. We are interested in fairy tales. So ask. The king's residence was surrounded by gardens, wherein there were varieties of trees brought from the heavenly planets. In those trees, there were pairs of sweetly singing birds and almost mad bumblebees, which made a very relishable buzzing sounds. Which planet has got trees? Have we discovered a planet where there are trees? See, it is written over here. Varieties of trees brought from heavenly planets. Which heavenly planets and where are the trees? You are in a spiritual class. Don't take this at face value. Don't be an ignorant person. Have the guts to ask questions. What is the meaning of these words? Do you want spiritual growth? Then don't ask stupid questions. Ask questions which give you references of something that is going to be really worth your time. Because the guru is not here to give you stories. They are called kathavachaks. They give only kathas. Oh, there was a king, he was like this, he had a wife, the wife had... And we say, oh, wow, 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 nice story, very good. He had so much of gold, he has so much of diamond. We are not even bothered. No questioning over there. A storyteller, he will tell whatever story that comes to the mind. He's reading some book, so he can say whatever he feels like. So, the king's residence was surrounded by gardens, wherein there were varieties of trees brought from heavenly planets. In those trees, there were pairs of sweetly singing birds and almost mad bumblebees, which made a very relishable buzzing sound. So, beekeepers were there that time. So, there was honey also available, isn't it? So they had honey hives. They knew how to harvest the honey. They knew how to, milk the cows. They knew how to make curd. They had, all kinds of things. All this is being mentioned over here. There were sweetly singing birds and bumblebees. There were emerald staircases, which led to lakes full of variously colored lotus flowers and lilies. And swans and karandavas and chakravas, vakas, cranes and similar other valuable birds were visible in those lakes. We are talking about saving the birds, saving the animals, saving the trees, saving the planet. So much of pollution. There is an entire system in the United Nations working towards save the planet. If I have a Mahabharat war, and if there is so much of thunder, lightning and missiles flying left, right and center, one atomic weapon can create destruction in the whole world. You know this or you don't know this? If they are using such sophisticated weapons, anybody using sophisticated weapons, if they say a big blast was heard and so many people died and this and that, sir, which is that missile we were using over there? And if that is the case, then do you think other lands are affected or no? Even one volcanic eruption can cause so much of destruction in this world. You have heard of Mount Etna, right? You have heard the story of Etna eruption. You have heard of Merapi, Metapi, and all these other mountains. You have heard of Hawaii has a live volcanoes, and that can destroy an entire land also. You have heard about it? Do you know even a little pollution in Indonesia causes a lot of problems to people in all these South Asian countries? Have you ever heard of it or no? 50% of the time, 50% of the time in the Singapore, you go outside and see, it is dense black with soot in the air. You can't even step outside. The air is so bad. Why? They say that people in Philippines, Indonesia, all these countries, they are burning the husk. That is why our air is like that. So pollution is there even today. So if I am talking about a kingdom in the past, how can I have trees from outer space? Which outer space planet has got trees? Can anybody tell me? Which planet has? We have still not explored it. So, this is the reason why these are little difficult to grasp. There were emerald staircases which led to lakes full of variously colored lotus flowers and lilies. Emerald staircases. And there are birds like swans, karandavas, chakravakaas, snake, cranes, and similar other valuable birds were visible in those lakes. They are the Siberian birds. They fly from India to Australia. I mean, from Siberia to Australia. So they are taking a halt in India. Yes, the lakes are filled with those birds. The saintly king Uttanpada, hearing of the glorious deeds of Dhruva Maharaj and personally seeing also how influential and great he was, felt very satisfied, for Dhruva's activities were wonderful to the supreme degree. Dhruva is only 5.5 years old. Use your logic over here and tell me, how does this work? There is a saintly king Uttanpada. This is the same guy who told his son, get out from here. He was biased with his first wife. Okay? He didn't take her close. The second wife was very dear to him. His son was very close to him, Uttama. Uttama, he allowed him to sit on his. So from which angle does he become a saintly king? Every verse, in every scripture, in every word for that matter, needs to be investigated. Because these scriptures are real, they are true, absolutely true. But when you look at them from your ethical and your logical point of view, they don't sound true at all. Okay, Moses parted the Red Sea. What? How can anybody part the Red Sea? Big question, isn't it? Huh? You remember? And that king, he made a spiral staircase to the heaven and he challenged the gods in heaven. It's written in the Bible. Okay? You need to ask, what does this mean? What is the meaning of those words? Is it really that we are supposed to take this at this value? So, the saintly king Uttanpada, hearing the glorious deeds of Dhruva Maharaj and personally seeing also how influential and great he was, felt very satisfied. For Dhruva's activities were wonderful to the supreme degree. When, after concentration, King Uttanpada saw that Dhruva Maharaj was suitably mature to take charge of the kingdom and that his ministers were agreeable and the citizens were also fond of him, he enthroned Dhruva as the emperor of this planet. So now Dhruva Maharaj is supposedly becoming, becoming bigger. So his father then crowns him as the king and he then goes away. See, after considering his advanced age and deliberating on the welfare of the spiritual self, King Uttanpada detached himself from worldly affairs and entered the forest. So I hope you get the point. So what he did, he put his son on the kingdom, on that throne, and then he left for Vanaprastha. He went away. Was considering his age. So here is the end of the story. None of it made sense. Why didn't it make sense? You are applying logic, you are applying your worldly knowledge. So there can't be trees from outer space which can be planted on earth. And if there is a place in outer space where there are very good trees, what trees are those? Correct? Number 2, emerald staircase, golden bedsteads, plantain leaves and plantains during ancient times. Plantain means banana. The banana came in existence only 100 years ago. How many of you know that? The banana which was available more than 100 years ago was not edible at all. Even the tomato that is there, even the potato that is there was not edible. The tomato was so horrible you can't even make out it is a tomato. So then what are they talking about? So we need to question, and the questions are very, very important. Spirituality is not for amateurs. It is not even meant for those who think that, oh, I can listen to this. If you want to listen to the story, instead of listening to the story, go and watch a movie or see those serials on all these stupid channels that are there. They will give you all the crap that is there required for an ignorant person to understand. These are Harry Potter stories. Watch them. Spiritually, you are going to be nowhere. So, you want to learn spirituality? First, you need a master. You need an enlightened master who gives you knowledge, the true meaning of every word that is being spoken. All right, I hope you get this answer. So we have come to the end of this chapter, and I can tell you one thing: those who join this satsang are privileged to get the answers. If you think joining a satsang is a painful existence of yours, then don't join. Because I give answers. They can be 1 line or 2 lines only. But those answers are very significant. They are not there anywhere in any scripture. No scripture is going to tell you the answers. And that is why I take these personal one-on-ones with you all. Okay, so for the public, this stops over here.